The camera opens on the Atlantic Ocean. Waves crash against jagged black cliffs under a burning orange sunrise. A small island stands alone, Madeira. And somewhere in its narrow streets, a boy is running. His feet are bare. The ground is rough. The ball, just a worn-out leather thing stitched back together too many times. But to him, it's everything. Cristiano. A boy with a name the world doesn't yet know. Chasing dreams no one else can see. The morning air smells of salt and iron. The village stirs slowly, fishermen hauling nets, mothers calling their children home for breakfast. But Cristiano keeps running. He's not just playing football, he's running from something. From limits. From smallness. From the silence of an island that tells him to stay where he is. His house is small, walls thin, rooms crowded. He can hear his parents arguing sometimes, money always tight. His father works at the local club, cleaning, fixing, trying. There's love, but also struggle, the kind that leaves marks you can't see. At night, when the lights go out, Cristiano lies awake listening to the ocean. The waves sound like applause to him. Not yet for him, but he imagines it. One day, the world will know his name. He's told he's too small, too skinny. That he'll never make it. And every time someone says that, something inside him hardens. He doesn't argue. He trains. Rain or shine, dawn or dusk, the ball is always with him. He practices moves until his legs ache. He runs up hills until his lungs burn. He watches older boys play and studies every touch, every mistake. When his friends rest, he stays. When they laugh, he keeps silent, listening to the sound of his own heartbeat. Because even then, at 10 years old, he knows the truth. Dreams don't come to those who wait. They come to those who bleed for them. The years blur. He grows faster, stronger, sharper. And one day, a scout comes to watch. The coach whispers his name. The boy from Madeira, the one who plays like his feet are made of fire. Then comes the letter. An invitation. Lisbon. Sporting Clube de Portugal. He's 12. And that night, he doesn't sleep. He stares at the ceiling, his heart pounding like drums. He's leaving home, the island, the sea, his mother's arms. The morning he leaves, the sky is grey. His mother cries, hiding her face. His father hugs him tightly but says little. He boards the plane with nothing but a small bag and a mountain of dreams. The engines roar. The island fades beneath the clouds. And for the first time, Cristiano feels something heavy settle in his chest, fear. He's alone. Lisbon is louder, colder, and crueler. The boys there laugh at his accent, his clothes, the way he talks. They call him the island boy. But what they don't see is the fire behind his eyes. He cries at night, quietly, so no one can hear. He misses his family. He thinks about giving up. But then, in the silence, he remembers why he came. And the tears dry. Training becomes his world. He runs faster. Shoots harder. Learns quicker. Every mistake is a lesson. Every insult, a spark. Coaches start noticing. They whisper, the boy's got something. Not just talent. Something deeper. Something raw. A kind of hunger that can't be taught. He trains after everyone's gone home. Lights off. Alone on the pitch. The sound of the ball echoing across empty grass. The stars above Lisbon witness it all. Sometimes his legs tremble from exhaustion. Sometimes he vomits after drills. But he wipes his mouth, breathes, and continues. Because quitting isn't an option. It never was. He writes letters home, telling his mother he's fine. He's not. But he doesn't want her to worry. He tells her he'll make her proud, that one day she won't have to clean, won't have to worry about food. That's his promise. And promises, to Cristiano, are sacred. Days turn into months. Months into years. The small island boy becomes something else. Harder. Sharper. Hungrier. The coach calls him one day. He's playing with the older team now. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't smile. He just nods and goes back to training. Because he's not there yet. He knows it. There's always another level. Always another wall to break. The camera follows him running through the Lisbon streets at night. Sweat drips down his face. Breath ragged. Every step is a declaration. I will not stop. He doesn't chase fame. He doesn't chase money. He chases respect from the game itself. One night, after a brutal training session, he sits on the pitch, alone. The grass cold. His heart pounding. And for a moment, he looks up at the sky, the same sky that stretches over Madeira. He whispers, almost to himself, I'll make it. Not a wish. A promise. And somewhere far away, the waves crash against the island cliffs as if the ocean itself heard him. The scene fades from a boy under floodlights to the man he's about to become. The world has no idea yet. But the mindset, the one that will make him unstoppable, is already born. Forged in loneliness. Sharpened by pain. Unbreakable. England. Rain. Wind. The kind that bites through your jacket and chills your bones. A 19-year-old steps out onto the pitch at Old Trafford. Number 7. The same number worn by legends before him. And the stadium watches, waiting to see what this skinny Portuguese kid will do. He doesn't just run. He dances with the ball. Feet flashing, body twisting, eyes burning. The defenders can't follow his rhythm. The crowd gasps, then cheers, then rises. Something different is happening. Something special. But behind the cheers, behind the bright lights, there is doubt. They call him flashy. They call him selfish. They say his style over substance. He hears it all. He remembers every word. But he doesn't answer with talk. He answers with sweat. After training ends, when his teammates shower and head home, Cristiano stays. Under the floodlights. Alone again. Practicing free kicks. Sprints. Dribbles. Over and over until the groundskeeper tells him to leave. And even then, he stays a little longer. The obsession grows. Every weakness an enemy. Every mistake a lesson. He watches videos of himself late at night. Pausing, rewinding, analyzing. How to move faster. How to shoot cleaner. How to win. He's building something in silence, brick by brick, the mindset of a warrior. The coaches start to notice. The boy who never stops. The one who trains like he's losing, even when he's winning. The older players test him, rough tackles, hard words. He gets up every time. No anger. No fear. Just a quiet promise in his eyes. I'll outlast you. And then, the tragedy begins to whisper into his life again. His father's health is fading. Alcohol has taken its toll. The man who once cleaned the fields where Cristiano played, now weak, distant, lost. Cristiano calls home after training, voice trembling. But he doesn't show it to the world. He buries the pain inside, turns it into drive. Every goal he scores, he looks up to the sky. Because he knows who he's playing for. Manchester United becomes his proving ground. He transforms, body growing stronger, muscles sculpted by relentless discipline. Every day, he adds another layer to his armor. Speed. Power. Precision. The Premier League is brutal, cold nights in rough stadiums, tackles that could break bones, fans who chant cruel words. But Ronaldo doesn't flinch. He adapts. He evolves. He stops being the boy who shows off tricks. He becomes the man who kills with precision. Every touch, every sprint, every strike, deliberate, lethal. He learns what greatness demands. It isn't talent. It's pain. It's staying on the field after losing, replaying every moment until the lesson burns into your mind. Sir Alex Ferguson sees it, the fire that reminds him of past legends. And he protects it, shapes it. Together, they build something unstoppable. Moscow. Champions League final. Rain pours over the stadium. Ronaldo rises for a header goal. The crowd explodes. The boy from Madeira stands at the top of Europe. And yet, as he lifts the trophy, there's no smile of satisfaction, only hunger. Because he knows what the world doesn't. Success doesn't quench his thirst. It feeds it. In the dressing room, surrounded by celebration, he sits quietly for a moment. He thinks of his father, who never got to see this. He thinks of his mother, still watching every match, still praying for her son. And he feels it again, that mix of pride and pain. A reminder that every triumph is built on sacrifice. He becomes unstoppable. Not because he's the strongest, but because he refuses to break. Media call him a machine. A perfectionist. They don't see the human behind it, the boy who cried himself to sleep, who trained until his legs gave out. They see the results, not the wounds. He wins trophies. Awards. The world starts saying his name differently now, with awe. But inside, he stays the same. The boy from the island, still running, still chasing, still haunted by the thought of not being good enough. And that's what keeps him going. At 23, he's already conquered England. And yet, he feels something calling, something bigger. A new challenge. A new mountain to climb. Real Madrid. The biggest club in the world. The stage where only legends survive. The day he signs, thousands of fans fill the Santiago Bernabéu, chanting his name. It's deafening. Flashbulbs. Cameras. A sea of white shirts. But as he looks around, he doesn't smile with pride. He looks hungry. Because for him, this isn't an ending. It's just another beginning. He walks down the tunnel that day, and in his mind, he whispers to himself, "You haven't done anything yet." The boy from Madeira has become the man the world watches. But his heart? It's still that same beating rhythm, that same promise he made years ago under the Lisbon lights. Never stop. Never break. The camera fades out, slow motion, Ronaldo walking through the tunnel, jersey clinging to his shoulders, face calm, eyes sharp. Behind him, the roar of fans. Ahead, a new battlefield. He doesn't look back. He never does. Because the unstoppable mindset he built in England, through doubt, through pain, through loss, has only just begun its war for greatness. Madrid. A city that demands greatness. A club where heroes are born and forgotten. Cristiano walks onto the pitch of the Santiago Bernabéu for the first time, white jersey clinging to him, the number 9 shining under the sun. 90,000 fans are chanting his name, cameras flashing like lightning. But behind his calm expression, there's only one thought: prove yourself again. Every goal, every record from England erased. Here, he's just another player in a sea of legends. Di Stefano. Zidane. Raul. Names carved in stone. He wants his name there too, not written, but burned into history. The pressure is immense. The critics sharpen their words before he even plays. Too expensive. Too arrogant. Can he handle Madrid? He hears them all. He smiles. And he trains. Morning. Night. Alone. Always more. He pushes his body beyond reason: ice baths, diet, sleep, recovery, repeat. He becomes obsessed not with being good, but with being perfect. Teammates see it: the first to arrive, the last to leave. The one who counts every sprint, every rep, every heartbeat. And then, the goals begin. One after another. Left foot, right foot, headers, free kicks that defy physics. The Bernabéu rises with him, again and again. But there's something else, someone else, on the other side of Spain. Barcelona. Lionel Messi. Two titans born for the same era. Different worlds, same hunger. One built from talent like poetry. The other, forged from fire and will. The rivalry consumes the planet. Every weekend, every headline, every debate: Ronaldo or Messi. And through it all, Cristiano's silence speaks louder than words. He doesn't seek comparison. He seeks victory. Each match becomes a battlefield. The whistle blows, and it's war. The crowd roars. He moves like a storm, pure precision, pure fury. Every goal, every celebration, arms outstretched, chin lifted, a declaration to the world. I am here. Years pass, and his legend grows heavier. Records fall, one after another. Goals become routine. But routine for him means obsession. He studies defenders. Watches every movement. He calculates before he strikes. Football isn't just a game anymore. It's science. It's art. It's survival. Yet behind the victories, there's loneliness. Success isolates. When you're at the top, there's no one left to chase except yourself. And that's exactly what he does. He wakes up early, even on holidays. Trains when others rest. Keeps pushing when his body screams enough. Because to him, enough never existed. Champions League trophies. Ballon d'Ors. Moments when the world bows, but Cristiano never kneels. There are injuries, sharp pain in his knees, his ankles, his back. Doctors warn him to rest. He shakes his head. He tapes it up and plays anyway. Because pain, to him, is not a wall. It's a weapon. And then, the story turns. Portugal. For years, he dreamed of giving his country something it never had, glory. He's been mocked for it. Ronaldo shines for Madrid, but never for Portugal. He carries the weight of a nation on his shoulders. 2016, the European Championship. Final. Portugal versus France. A stadium trembling under pressure. But just minutes in, a tackle. He falls. Knee twisted. Pain like fire. He tries to continue. He can't. He collapses on the grass. Tears blur his vision. This was supposed to be his moment, and it's slipping away. The stretcher comes. He leaves the pitch in tears. The world watches, the mighty Ronaldo broken. But then, something happens. He doesn't leave the fight. He stands by the touchline, shouting, coaching, living every second. Bandage on his leg. Eyes full of fire. And when the final whistle blows, Portugal wins. He falls to his knees, crying, this time not in pain, but in joy. His country. His people. His dream. Realized. For a man who built himself on control, discipline, and perfection, this was different. It wasn't about him. It was about something bigger. Legacy. That night, under the Paris sky, he lifts the trophy. The island boy from Madeira. The lonely child from Lisbon. The man who refused to break. Now the champion of Europe. The cameras capture his tears, his smile, the trembling hands that hold the cup. And for the first time, the world sees not the machine but the human behind it. When he returns to Madrid, the city erupts in celebration. But deep down, he's already thinking of the next challenge. Because greatness, to him, isn't a destination. It's a chase that never ends. He keeps scoring, keeps winning. He builds empires in silence. Every season, people doubt. Every season, he answers. He becomes not just a player, but a symbol. Of work. Of will. Of what happens when a human refuses to accept limits. But even gods must face change. And Cristiano feels it, the world shifting, younger players rising. The hunger in their eyes reminding him of himself. He doesn't fear them. He respects them. Because he knows, the fire must be passed on. And yet, he's not done. Not even close. When people whisper, his past his prime, he smiles, that same quiet, dangerous smile. Because he knows something they don't. The body ages. The mindset doesn't. He's no longer just Cristiano Ronaldo, the player. He's Cristiano Ronaldo, the idea. The embodiment of relentless human belief. And as he walks off another victorious night at the Bernabeu, sweat on his face, the stadium chanting his name again. He looks up at the stands, and for a brief second, you can see it in his eyes. That same boy from Madeira. Still chasing. Still running. Still dreaming beyond the horizon. The years pass. The trophies pile up. The records blur together like fading stars in the night sky. But Cristiano is still there, still running, still training, still chasing something invisible. People begin to ask, what more can he win? They don't understand, he's not chasing trophies anymore. He's chasing himself. Madrid has given him everything. But the hunger calls again, a new challenge, a new war. Italy. Juventus. He arrives in Turin not as a boy, not even as a man, but as a living legend. The cameras flash, the world watches. He could have retired. He could have rested. But rest is a word that never existed in his vocabulary. At 33, they say his past his prime. He smiles. Because he loves being doubted. He always has. The training begins again. Early mornings. Ice baths. Recovery. Focus. He studies his body like a scientist studies an experiment. Every movement, every heartbeat, every calorie. Teammates watch in disbelief, a man in his 30s training like a teenager fighting for his first contract. No shortcuts. No excuses. He runs, jumps, lifts, repeats. When he scores his first goal for Juventus, the roar feels familiar, but inside, it's different. Because this time, it's not about proving others wrong. It's about proving something to himself. Every goal becomes a quiet reminder. You are not done. He wins again. Serie A titles. Champions League battles. Another Ballon d'Or. But time keeps whispering. Every day, a little louder. The body slows. The recovery takes longer. But the mind? Still iron. And that's the secret, the part the world can't see. The difference between greatness and immortality isn't in the legs. It's in the soul. Then, another chapter begins. He returns to Manchester United. Full circle. Old Trafford again. The roar of the crowd feels like a memory reborn. He walks out of the tunnel older, wiser, quieter. The boy who once came here with dreams now returns as the dream itself. But football has changed. The world has changed. He plays among younger faces, faster, hungrier, the new generation. The media stirs again. He's finished. He can't keep up. He's too old. And once again, Cristiano answers the only way he knows how. With goals. With sweat. With silence. But this time, it's different. The battles are not just on the pitch, they're within. The frustration. The doubt. The changing game. Moments of isolation. Moments where even he, the unstoppable one, begins to question. Yet every time he falls, every time the world turns its back, he returns to the one truth that built him. You never give up. He trains harder. He refocuses. He evolves again. And when his path leads him away from Europe, to Saudi Arabia, to Al Nassr, the world laughs. Retirement league, they call it. But Cristiano doesn't play for approval. He plays for purpose. He stands there, under foreign lights, in a new desert city, fans chanting in a new language. And he smiles. Because the fire inside him hasn't dimmed. It never will. The stadium roars as he scores again. And again. And again. Different place. Same fire. Same obsession. He trains with the same discipline, the same hunger. Even when no one's watching. Especially when no one's watching. Because that's who he is, a man built in silence, who turned loneliness into legacy. The camera cuts between past and present. The boy in Madeira running down a dusty street. The teenager crying in Lisbon. The young man lifting trophies in Manchester. The legend conquering Madrid. The warrior reborn in Turin. And the icon still defying time in Riyadh. All one story. All one heartbeat. He's not chasing immortality anymore. He's already found it. Because immortality isn't about how long the world remembers your name. It's about how deeply you inspire others to never give up on theirs. There are kids all around the world now, in Africa, in Pakistan, in Brazil, in small towns across Europe. Running barefoot down streets with a torn ball, whispering the same name he once dreamed of making famous. Ronaldo. They don't just see a footballer. They see a mirror. Of hunger. Of resilience. Of the unbreakable human will. He knows this. He carries it quietly. Sometimes, late at night, he sits alone after training. The stadium empty. The floodlights humming softly. He looks out at the field, the scars on his legs, the ache in his muscles, the weight of decades on his shoulders. And he smiles. Because it was all worth it. Every early morning. Every sleepless night. Every tear. Every failure. All of it, the fuel that made him unstoppable. The voiceover grows quiet now, softer, slower, almost like a whisper. If you strip away the fame, the money, the trophies, what remains? A boy from Madeira. A dream. A fire that refused to die. That's the real story. Not the goals. Not the records. The mindset. The one that said, when you have nothing, believe. When you're tired, push. When they doubt you, smile. And when you fall, get up again and again. Because that's what makes someone unstoppable. Not the medals. Not the applause. But the refusal to surrender. The screen fades to black. The faint sound of a heartbeat. Then, the echo of a crowd roaring. And a final voice, calm, reflective, powerful. You can take away the fame. You can take away the trophies. You can take away everything. But you can never take away the fire. The heartbeat fades. The lights dim. The legend remains.